My sister-in-law, who lay sprawled across the road at night, screamed at the top of her lungs like a spoiled child. I just gave him a chance. He's trying to throw away the right to monopolize me. Can you believe that? I'm just teaching him. It's waste. Overconfidence is a sickness that has brought her to this point. I don't need such entitlement. Don't you understand that Tim has rejected that right? How pathetic. It's really pitiful. I can't help but laugh. Are you still exposing your misery here? Aren't you ashamed? After enduring endless verbal abuse from my sister-in-law, she finally stood up and foolishly confronted me, as if she could win. I'm Kate, working at the hotel. My job is my lover, and my workplace is my second home. I'm a 32-year-old single woman. My father has already passed away, so I live with my mother in our family home. My younger brother got married at 20 and now lives out of state. The long-standing concern in our family is my brother's wife, Emma. She's, how should I put it, a free-spirited person. That hasn't changed since the first time she came to our house. I still remember the words she said when we first met. I'm marrying Timmy, you know. Oh, they're sweet. But you know, I'm into those huge cream puffs from that cake shop over there. I don't need this, so go buy some cream puffs for me. Our parents were speechless. I was also dumbfounded. Brother, why did my brother fall for this girl? My sister-in-law has a flashy appearance, blue hair, eyelash extensions, and flashy nails. But considering her true character, her flamboyant appearance is like an accessory. My brother said, I found her selfishness cute, but I think it's excessive. Really? Why did he fall for her? I couldn't help but wonder. From the wedding ceremony to choosing a new home, my sister-in-law indulged in her whims. I'll only wear brand new dresses. I won't accept anything less. After all, I'm the bride. According to my logic, it's correct. What's a security deposit? In my logic, since I'm borrowing the house, it's weird to pay for something like that. My brother's wife frequently unleashes her mysterious Emma logic and throws everyone around her into chaos. In her mind, whatever she believes is right. During her pregnancy, she ignored everyone's warnings and went for a swim in the sea. She only eats the parts of her meals she wants and leaves the rest. How can I put it? She's selfish and inconsiderate without any hesitation. One day, before summer arrived, my mother told me with a troubled expression, Emma and the grandchildren are coming to stay with us during summer vacation. What, really? My brother has 4 children. Their ages are 7, 5, 4, and 2, all boys. The nephews are full of energy. They are typical children, mischievous and incredibly cute. If those kids come, our quiet life, my mother's and mine, will surely become lively and noisy. But, well, as cute as my nephews are, their mother, in other words my sister-in-law, is far from cute. Should I accept these adorable nephews along with the troublesome sister-in-law? Is the whole family coming? How long will they stay? Well, there's a little problem. Tim won't be coming. My mother's face turned serious. He's not coming? Only the daughter-in-law, the grandkids? Just my selfish sister-in-law and the lively, explosive 4 brothers? Whenever her husband is present, my sister-in-law restrains her selfishness just a little. Her husband is a stopper for her. If he's not coming, there's nothing but worry. We should decline this homecoming. Can you refuse Emma and the others' homecoming? It's a bit overwhelming for me and you. Well, there are various circumstances. Well, let me tell you. Mother told me about a certain plan. I accepted the circumstances. If that's the situation, it can't be helped. As much as possible, I'll also cooperate. I asked my workplace hotel to schedule me for shifts from early morning to evening during the nephew's visit. Summer vacation has arrived. That day was sunny from the morning with a refreshing blue sky. The energetic four brothers arrived at our house. Grandma, Auntie, hello! Bathroom! I want to go to the bathroom! I'm first! I'm going to the bathroom first! Big brother pushed me! Ooh! They burst with energy right from the start. The nephews rushed into the living room, eager to be the first. With a gentle smile, I narrowed my eyes and asked the eldest child, "You must be tired from the long journey. Where's Mom?" "She says she's going to the restaurant and left by car." "What?" After dropping off the four children in front of our house, my brother's wife apparently left immediately. She went to the restaurant alone. Wait a minute, I haven't heard anything about this. When will she come back? I don't know. There it is. Another strange behavior from my brother's wife. And the youngest child is only 2 years old. She dropped off the small child from the car, didn't even make sure they entered the house, and just drove off. Unbelievable. As I was dumbfounded, I heard the cries from the younger children. What? What's happening now? The nephew's eyes sparkled as they looked at the snacks they received from Grandma. It's snacks! Amazing! There's so many! Can we eat them? Really? Grandma, won't you get mad? The four shining pairs of eyes were delighted as if they had found a treasure. But no one touched the snacks. Mother smiled happily and distributed juice to the nephews. You can eat them. I prepared them for you. Wow! Mom doesn't give us snacks. She eats them all by herself. We can only eat meat and snacks when Daddy's around. She says it's too much for the gluttons brats. Don't tell Mom that we ate the snacks. Huh? The nephews took turns speaking. The content of their words twisted my face in disgust. Gluttonous brat. What is my sister-in-law saying to the children? I glanced at Mother, and she had a serious expression too. The nephew's surprising behavior continued. They tried to wrap the snacks in tissues and hide them in their luggage. It was for the case when Mom doesn't come back, or so they said. The moment the glass tippled over and water spilled, everyone's faces turned pale. They started panicking and saying, "Sorry, don't be angry, don't hit me," and began to cry. As the temperature rose, I turned on the AC. Then they said, "Thank you so much," and kept expressing their gratitude until I said it's okay. It seems that my sister-in-law considered this behavior as a form of discipline and was making the nephews engage in such actions. Every time I witnessed the nephew's behavior, my heart ached. This is not discipline. Surely, my sister-in-law's parenting was causing significant harm to the children's mental well-being. My mother and I would tell the nephews each time that they didn't have to do such things. I couldn't help but speak up to my sister-in-law. It might be impossible to have a calm discussion. Maybe I should be straightforward. However, since bringing the nephews to our house, my sister-in-law hadn't shown up once. Night came, followed by morning, then night again. It had been a whole week of no contact. Of course, I contacted my brother. He simply said, "I'll rely on the children a little longer," even though I was furious to the point of exploding at any moment. I'll rely on the children a little longer, even though I was furious to the point of exploding at any moment. In the end, my sister-in-law showed up at our house after 10 days. It was 5 o'clock in the evening. I had finished work and was preparing dinner, meatloaf with my mother and the nephews. At that moment, the sound of an engine echoed from the front porch. The booming music reached inside the house. After a few seconds of silence following the engine noise and music, our front door opened. "Hey there, Emma's arrived. It's so hot. Where's the beer?" It was my sister-in-law. She had a sun-kissed tan. Her slim thighs peeking out from her skirt were as thin as my upper arms. Her appearance seems to say, "I've been enjoying my vacation." In my mind, the bell for battle rang. Go fight. Who might you be? Huh? Oh, come on, my sis-in-law. Are you losing your marbles already? My sister-in-law chuckled and cast a cold gaze at the nephews. Hey, I said I wanted a beer, didn't I? The nephews shrank back and huddled in the corner of the room, motionless, their faces frozen in fear, were stark contrast to their lively onion peeling just a moment ago. Get moving! Bring me a beer! My sister-in-law's shouting made the nephews tremble in fear. I quickly stepped in between my sister-in-law and the nephews. We don't have any beer at home. What? Why didn't you prepare beer when I'm here? Are you stupid or something? You are the stupid one. Mom, take the kids outside. My mother nodded. My sister-in-law rolled her eyes and tried to grab me. What's the problem? Who do you think you are? So you are trying to grab me. That means I have the right to defend myself. I firmly grasped my sister-in-law's arm. It's clear that there's no chance of her twig-like arms winning against my strong arms, built for making beds daily and carrying customers' travel bags. Behold the strength of these arms. While we were grappling, my mother took the nephews outside. Ouch! Let go! Are you a gorilla or something? Gorilla would do a better job raising those kids than you. Did you know you call them the glutton brats? What about yourself? You don't work, neglect your children, and just fool around. You're a mess. Where on earth have you been wandering around? Emma is young, so it's okay for her to have fun. She doesn't need to work because her husband earns money. Jealous, aren't you, being a single old lady? You're in your 30s and have kids. Stop referring to yourself by name. How long do you plan to act young? Face reality. You're only 2 years younger than me. My sister-in-law's face turned bright red with anger, and she forcefully shook off my arm. Overwhelmed by her own momentum, she fell backward and landed on her rear with a loud thud. Ouch! It hurts. I'm going to be bedridden because of this pain. Give Emma a cushion. Bring me a beer. You sleep in the storage room. You sleep there. You old fool. There were more things I wanted to say, but it would be pointless to say anything further. Taking to my sister-in-law's fertile, I silently went to my room and packed my belongings. When I returned to the living room, my sister-in-law was rummaging through the fridge. She's perfectly capable of moving around without even looking at me. I spoke to her. Well then, I'll go back to my place. Huh? Ignoring my sister-in-law's foolish voice, I turned my back and stormed out of the house. The place I headed to was a renowned hotel established 80 years ago, which served as my workplace. Work was my lover. What's wrong with considering the workplace as a second home? My mother and nephews had arrived at the hotel before me, eagerly waiting for my arrival. Sorry for keep you all waiting. Is everyone here? Yeah. My nephews seemed a bit lost in this high-class hotel they were visiting for the first time. In front of them, I proudly stood, puffing out my chest. Tonight, we're all staying here together. Huh? In such a fancy place? Leave it to me. I had previously asked the hotel owner to accommodate my nephews temporarily if my sister-in-law came to our house. The owner gladly agreed, patting his chest firmly. He was concerned about how my nephews were being treated by my sister-in-law. In this tourist spot, during the midsummer season, there are always a few available rooms, so we didn't have to worry about finding a place to stay. There's a sauna and a tennis court. You can use them. Really? My nephew's eyes sparkled with excitement. My mother secretly whispered to me so that the nephews wouldn't hear. "Tim will arrive home soon. Emma's car's GPS isn't moving, so it's starting now." I nodded in response to my mother's whisper, hoping that my brother would handle things well. I guided my mother and nephews to our accommodation for the day. My nephews were nervous in their first ever hotel experience. The meals were hastily prepared by a young chef, even though we had planned to eat out. We were surprised but grateful for the delicious food made with limited ingredients. It truly showcased the professionalism of the young chef. If this was what a young chef could create, the dishes served to regular customers must be even more amazing. I thought our hotel's future looked bright. After filling their bellies with delicious food, my energetic nephews regained their usual liveliness. By the time they finished taking a bath and were ready for a game of tennis, their energy had exploded. A serious tennis match ensued between me and the group of 4 nephews. Every point we scored created a big fuss, and the hotel staff and other guests looked at us warmly. After all the excitement, my exhausted nephews returned to their room and fell asleep the moment they hit the bed. My mother also dozed off while putting the nephews to bed. I left the room alone and took a break with a drink from the vending machine. Just as I checked my phone, wondering what had happened to my brother and sister-in-law, I received a call from my brother. Perfect timing. I tapped the answer button. "Hello, Tim?" "Sis, I'm sorry for causing you trouble. How are the kids? Are they alright?" My brother sounded tired, but his first words were an apology and concern for the children. I think he's acting responsibility as an adult and a parent, unlike Emma. "We're doing fine here. Everyone is relaxed and already sleeping. How about over there?" The plan went smoothly. Thanks to you taking care of the kids, I was able to keep her unattended. I moved freely, and I managed to gather evidence. I even captured them going to the hotel and getting cozy in the car. Kate's younger brother's voice simmered with quiet anger. In truth, his wife had shown signs of another man. She became sensitive to text notifications and spoke with an excessively sweet voice on the phone. Treating children as nuisances, she started hurling hurtful words. While the family's mysterious expenses were nothing new, her recent spending had become reckless. She also seemed oddly knowledgeable about the newly opened shopping mall. Yet, with her cunning, she eluded any evidence her brother could find, so he turned to their mother for advice. "This summer, I want to gather evidence from my wife's infidelity and separate from her. I need your help," he pleaded. When I asked my mother if my brother would stay overnight, her response lacked conviction. My brother took paid leave to tail his wife on the day she visited our home. A GPS tracker, unknown to his wife, was installed in her car. He followed her, relying on it, gathering evidence. His objective was achieved. It was worth restraining my anger from exploding. "It must have been tough. Well done." Did Emma admit to cheating? But I know my sister-in-law. She would never admit her wrongdoing. How on earth did my brother handle it? Well, she didn't really admit it. She had no choice. She had been gallivanting with different men for 10 days. When she saw the evidence photo of her with various men, she couldn't deny it anymore. It was clear she was just fooling around. What? She was gallivanting around? Does that mean she had more than one affair? Yeah, she shamelessly claimed it was all just for fun and not serious. But when I told her I couldn't continue a married life with a woman who acts like I'm playing around with so many men, she burst into tears. She said she would consider it as cheating. She didn't want a divorce. She didn't want to pay child support. It was becoming absurd. She truly embodied selfishness. Having the ability to be so self-centered and shout about it is quite a talent. What's Emma doing now? She's lying flat in front of the house, yelling at top of her lungs. I called the police a while ago because it was causing a disturbance in the neighborhood. I'll come with you. You can't handle it alone. I sighed deeply and headed towards my parents' house. When I arrived, the police were already there, and Emma was surrounded by my brother and 2 police officers. Still, she laid there, vehemently voicing her argument. That's why, if Tim won't divorce me, I said I would stop making a scene. Just tell him not to divorce me. Why can't you understand? You, who abandoned your children for 10 days and ran around with other men, have no right to speak so arrogantly. No! You, please lower your voice. It's already nighttime. It was embarrassing to see my sister-in-law lying down and struggling, causing trouble for my brother and the police officers. A married woman attracts more attention. Men flock to her, Let me have more fun. Her statement was exasperating. I approached quietly and raised my voice. So, once you're no longer a married woman, you're implying you have no charm, right? Kate's sister-in-law glared sharply at me as I suddenly appeared. Her brother seemed relieved. You're tired. Leave it to me. No one will bother with a stupid, selfish, annoying woman like you. You're not playing. You're being played, I said. What did you say? Her face turned bright red. Perhaps she realized something. If you say it's not true, go to those men right now. You'll just be rejected. Oh, you already know you'll be rejected or dumped, so you can't move from here. What? That's not true. I was just giving Tim a chance. I'm teaching him that it's a waste to give up the right to monopolize me. This level of overconfidence is sickening. Who would need that kind of entitlement? Tim rejected that right. How pathetic and pitiful. It's laughable. Are you still exposing your misery here? Aren't you ashamed? After enduring my scolding, my sister-in-law stood up and raised her fist. But she couldn't unleash her anger at me because of the sturdy police officers standing in her way. She struggled with the officers for a while, then reluctantly lowered her fist. You can't win against the police. Are you an idiot? She got into her car without saying a word and drove off somewhere. As I watched her departing car, I sighed deeply. It must have been tough. Then my brother murmured as if he had just remembered something. Oh, she was drinking earlier. It could be considered drunk driving. Huh? The police officer who overheard my brother's matter got into the patrol car and drove off. She'll probably be caught soon. As expected, my sister-in-law was swiftly apprehended. She apparently spoke nonsense, saying to the chasing officer, You're chasing me because I'm attractive to Emma? You fell for me? The police lightly interrogated the delusional woman and arrested her for drunk driving. I'm grateful to the police officer who caught her before she caused an accident. It could have resulted in injuries. After her arrest, my sister-in-law continued with her selfish excuses, showing no cooperation in the investigation. She was detained and later charged with fleeing the scene. Once released from custody, she returned to her parents' home. Later, my brother received divorce-related documents from her lawyer. He also hired a lawyer and proceeded with the divorce. Finally, he severed ties with that woman. Currently, my brother and his ex-wife are in the middle of a child support battle in court. His ex-wife claimed that it was unfair for only her to bear the burden of child support. She demanded that her boyfriends also contribute, revealing all the details about her past relationships. My brother entrusted the entire lawsuit to his lawyer, feeling confident that he didn't have to put in much effort to win. Interestingly, his ex-wife is also claiming damages from her boyfriends. I doubt that will go well for her. Custody was smoothly granted to my brother. He returned to our hometown with the children. He found a new job locally and is living happily with our mother and the kids. As for me, I found a boyfriend. He's a young chef who cooked meals for my nephews when we evacuated them to a hotel. He seemed to like seeing me enjoy the food he made in awe and have genuine fun with my nephews. Although it's awkward to work in the same place, my colleagues are celebrating our relationship. Soon, I'll move out of my parents' house and live with him. I am already firmly captured by his culinary skills and delicious food. I'm excited for a new life together.